Zhiyun just sent me their newest version of the smooth smartphone gimbal, the Smooth 5S AI. My name is Patrick. I'm a content creator and a worship pastor in NYC, and I think this gimbal checks almost all the boxes, so let's get into it. Zhiyun is very familiar with pushing the boundaries of gimbal technology, and the Smooth 5S AI is no exception. Smartphones like my iPhone 15 Pro Max are already shooting excellent footage. I can shoot ProRes on this thing, but taking that footage and attaching it to a gimbal like this is just, it's another level. So let's unbox it, let's check it out. Right off the bat, when you pull this out of the packaging, you can tell they've added some polish. The build has been upgraded with a nice use of translucent material, which is actually really cool. It's translucent because you can actually see that internally they have added lighting to the gimbal itself. So can you attach external lights to the gimbal? Yes, but there's also internal lights built in. Okay, so I'm gonna power this on. It's gonna see, okay, yep, there it goes. The gimbal, I think if I press this button, yeah. So right here on the joystick, there's this little light button, and if I press and hold it, lights turn on for me, or I should say, light turns on for me. So if you're actually in a space where you just need a quick lighting solution, this is great. So you'll see this translucent build with the lighting built in. It's pretty cool. Nice touch. Also, out of the box, the grip feels nicer and the markings are more distinct. The controls are more prominent. Overall, it feels like a more professional gimbal than what you might find on Amazon for a much cheaper price. But speaking of price, you can't open this thing without first buying it. So we have to talk about how much it costs. And honestly, there isn't one price to pay for this gimbal because you can purchase different packages with different accessories. But every package I've seen is less than around $280, which I was not expecting. I thought this would be more expensive. And with that said, I want to make sure you all know that Zhiyun sent me this gimbal to try out. They have no idea I'm making a video. They probably expected me to, but they have no idea I'm making a video. They didn't ask me to, and they didn't give me any money of any kind. So you can rest assured that all of these thoughts are mine, and I'm going to be fully transparent. Get it? Because it's got this like transparent little light here. Cool. Listen, they're going to see this video before you, so I'm going to be fully transparent about my thoughts and feelings on the gimbal. But still, less than $300. To me, that's insane, and I am glad that this is going to be so much more affordable for many. Before you use your Smooth FSAI, make sure you have unlocked all the motors. The pan motor has a switch below. It's the only actual switch you have to click here, while the other two motors unlock simply just by twisting. So I'm going to twist this guy here. Yeah, that's unlocked. And now I twist, this guy here. So now everything is unlocked. If you try to use the gimbal without unlocking those motors, it's gonna be a problem. So then you use this front arm here, this screw here, to balance your phone. Obviously unbalanced, pull a little bit further. I have the iPhone 15 Pro Max, a little bit larger than, well, the largest of the iPhones. Now it's balanced. And also notice that I have it on here with its case. I love that. If I had to switch this to a different case to use the gimbal, deal breaker. If I had to pull it out of the case to use the gimbal, a deal breaker. I want things to be really feature rich and cool, but I also want them to be easy to use. So the fact that I can leave my case on, for me, maybe not you, but for me, huge selling point. You can also use the auto-calibration feature in the ZY Cami app made by Zhiyun for perfect balance, but I'd balance it here on my own. Speaking of apps, Zhiyun offers two apps, ZY Cami, which makes me laugh every time I say it, and Starcam. ZY Cami is an app that's like made for general camera use, pano, dolly zoom, things like that. And Starcam gives you some more of those serious features like control over exposure and focus. And I don't think, I mean, the fact that they have two apps that do different things, I don't think Zhiyun has fully figured out ease of use app integration yet, but I can tell they're working on it. I know that having two different apps is going to confuse some people. However, if the hardware is this good, the software is going to come along. I'm not super worried about it, but two apps, ZY Cami and Starcam. Also, the Smooth 5 SAI has a better battery life compared to its predecessor. The previous model had a 24-hour standby battery life, while the Smooth 5 SAI has a 26-hour standby battery life. And I find this stat to be a little bit hilarious because we want to use the gimbal. It's not going to sit there standing by, but the battery seems to be a bit better, and the gimbal can also double as a battery pack for your phone, which is a handy feature, so no worries on like your phone dying while you're shooting using the Smooth 5 SAI. It has a small, somewhere, help me, anyone? Right here, it has a small USB-C port. Not a small USB-C port, they're all the same size. It has a USB-C port. It has a USB-C port right here. I plug that into my phone. I would just need to adjust it out from the frame a little bit, and I have battery life for my phone, so it's not going to die, but of course that will drain the battery faster from the gimbal itself. Obviously, the Smooth 5 SAI has various shooting modes: pan follow, locked, follow, POV, and Vortex. And you can see those modes here when the gimbal is on. You'll see these light up telling you which mode you're using. So if you want to keep the horizon level, or if you want to do like 360-degree barrel rolls, the gimbal has you covered. The gimbal also features control wheels for zoom and focus, adding versatility to your filming. So on the go, instead of touching your phone to do a lot of these features, you're using the controls of the gimbal, which is one of the reasons why you would buy this. Super steady shooting and controls right at your fingertips that you don't have to fumble through an app to find. Again, compared to previous models, the 5 SAI has had a significant redesign, but apart from that, it's similar to other gimbals in this price range. Similar features, similar functions, similar results. There are plenty of other videos out there that walk you through the intricacies of each of these buttons and how they make your filming experience a treat. But I want to talk about that one thing, that one new thing that separates this gimbal from the rest. This new magnetic detachable AI tracker, which can work independently of Zhiyun apps or any other app for that matter. Stop. That right there is huge. Tracking has been built into the camera apps on your phone that connect these gimbals for quite some time. This AI tracker exists outside of those apps. It is its own piece of hardware. Look, it's separate right now. This means that you can use this AI tracking with whatever your favorite camera app is, as long as you're using this gimbal, of course, and this AI device, of course, whether or not the app itself supports tracking at all. It doesn't matter if your app can track, this can track. So you open up your favorite camera app, press record, and use this AI tracking device on the gimbal, magnetize right there, and you're good to go. This AI module can also face forwards or backwards, depending on which camera you want to use, the front or the back camera on your phone. A red light on the AI tracker means it's waiting for your signal. To start tracking, make sure the AI camera can see your face. So that orange button is the back, this lens is the front, and then you give it the OK sign, and the light turns green on the tracker. And the gimbal will keep you in the center of the frame. To stop tracking, you show the palm of your hand. To start or stop recording, you make a V sign or a peace sign with your fingers, and the light flashes blue before recording starts or stops. For me, this is a huge win. I do have a small gripe and a suggestion though. As a content creator, I love this feature. If I'm filming a cooking show, or if I'm doing an apartment tour, this is an incredible tracking system. Or if I'm at a theme park walking around with my kids, amazing. However, as a worship pastor or an on-the-go content creator, my job is to record teaching and music happening on stage. But the camera is in the back of the room, and sometimes I am on that very stage. I am trying to film. I don't like having hand gestures be the only way that this module knows to start tracking and recording. Again, if I'm working in my garage as a car detailing content creator and I want the camera to follow me, it's incredible because the camera's right there beside me in a 10 by 10 space, or I live in New York City. I don't know how big garages are. Sorry about that. But it looks weird for me or someone else to step on stage and hold up an OK sign or a peace sign to start recording and for this module to recognize me. I don't want to look like I'm throwing up gang signs when I'm trying to use a cool new feature on my cool new gimbal. And now I know this is still, it's cutting edge technology, so I'm not going to harp on this, but I did want to mention it because I would like to see more options in the future. For instance, having a physical button in my pocket, like a small button that I could click that somehow connects to this module to tell it to start tracking me would be amazing. But I digress because I don't want to be the guy that learned about a new incredible technology 5 seconds ago and I'm already complaining about it.
Hate it.
One more small gripe, and I don't see a way around this, and it's not a huge deal, but since I have this large phone and I balanced it by pulling this arm out here, I can no longer lock and close the gimbal. So I would have to push the arm back in, lock down the arm. Now it's locked down. So I wonder if there was a way that this arm could extend out here so that it locks. I don't see a way around it. I wish this was different, but since I have a larger phone, I guess that's kind of the price I pay.
How's bragging camp going?
So when I unlock the phone, or when I unlock the gimbal, I should say, I need to push this arm out a bit to balance it. And then I'm good to go. What did that take? 5 seconds? Let's go ahead and see how well this tracking system works. I've talked about it enough. Let's try it out. So I'm recording with my front-facing camera on my phone. The gimbal isn't turned on. The sensor is right up here on the top. So I'm going to power on the gimbal. Right now, the sensor is blinking at me. You can see the gimbal's powered on. If I want to, I can use the controls to change the gimbal. Look at that. Whoa, whoa. And now while this sensor is facing me, I just hold up the OK sign. The lights turned green, and now it is fully following me. If I stand up and go over here, oh, it comes with me. If I go over here and sit back down, it goes with me. So if you are a content creator who is constantly filming yourself, I mean, this is the way to go. Now I'm already recording here, but it saw my palm, so it stopped. That's exactly what I wanted to test. Now it's no longer tracking me. I hit the OK symbol right away. But you can see how it might be weird if I was on a stage and going like, all right, let's get started. And I'm holding up a sign. That's weird, right? Now I'm already recording with my phone. I wonder what would happen if I hit the V. It recognized the signal. Oh, and it stopped recording. I've held up the V again, and now it's recording again. Okay, that's pretty cool. So if I'm here and I'm filming a cooking video and I just want to say, cut. Okay, it took me a few times right then. That's okay. So the hand gestures, sometimes they always work, but sometimes it takes you a few tries. So I love this. I think it's great. Wow. I could see this being even better with some sort of a selfie stick type tripod that could kind of extend out a bit. But I do love the tripod that Zhiyun sends with their gimbals and I mean, it's plastic, but it's sturdy. It works well. And look how this is just keeping me in frame. I do notice that when I start moving the gimbal a little bit more, a little bit more aggressively, there are some clicking sounds in it. But again, this isn't a professional gimbal. You're not going to be throwing it around. You're going to be at the theme park with your kids. You know, you're going to be filming sports. Whoa! And if you do go too fast, apparently it gets a little bit confused. If I want to record myself, hey, or track myself, I should say. This is so extremely impressive. I'm loving this thing. I can see myself really getting used to these controls, and I can see myself using this in several scenarios in my own content creation journey. I could also see myself using technology like this at the back of the room if I'm trying to film like that perfect reels shot for a pastor who's teaching on stage or someone who's leading songs on stage. I could see so many uses for this. Other than the new look and the AI tracking module, the Smooth 5 SAI retains the high-performance magnet steel motors from the previous model. The enhanced build quality is next level. You can really tell this was made to last. I don't feel like I'm gonna break it, which is a huge deal for me. I mentioned some of the things on my AI module wish list, but the AI tracking functionality is incredible, allowing you to have tracking in any camera app of your choice. And speaking of wish lists, if you visit iampatrickmurphy.com/sign up, I have a gimbal wish list you will want to check out if you are shopping for your next gimbal. It has all of those little accessories you forget about when buying a new piece of gear. So check it out. It's free. And if I was out there looking for a new phone gimbal, I honestly think this would be top priority. You got to get this thing. The only drawback might be the learning curve associated with the multiple buttons and controls and the need to balance the smartphone manually, which can be a bit tricky for beginners. But as you can see, after using the device for only a few minutes, I was able to comfortably and quickly set my phone up to be used with the gimbal, and I have the biggest iPhone out there. I personally think that the pros far outweigh the cons on the Smooth 5S AI, but you have to remember that filmmaking is more than just video, and that's why you need to watch this video before you go, and this gimbal is going to track me as I leave.